Good morning from Grand Turk, part of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Today's video, we're going to head off the ship. We're currently on the Carnival Mardi Gras, filming this from our balcony. Head off and go on a dune buggy adventure across the island. It's not a very big island, only about a mile or so wide by about 7 miles long. We're going to go all over it. Let's go. Coming out of the duty free, that's the exit from the shop. There is the tour booths all around this plaza, and this is where you check in for the tour. Nice and easy after a quick safety demonstration. The dune buggies are right here in port. You can see the top of the ship there, so it was a 2-minute walk, if that, 1-minute walk from the tour check-in points. Starting off with some practice drills in the parking lot. After a few practice laps, we quickly just turned right outside of the cruise complex, and we're on these beach roads. The cruise complex is right next to like a beach nature preserve, and that's where we started our tour, kind of going across these beach sandy roads, kind of near the airport and cruise port. We got going pretty fast. These were private, I assume, or at least there was no one else on it, kind of roads, makeshift roads, not even really roads, kind of that we're just in this nature reserve area. There was about 15 or so of us in the buggies. Buggy seat 2 people, guide up front, guide in the back, and you see it was got quite bumpy at times, where maybe some of the water washed away some of the sand. After about 10 minutes cruising around the nature preserve area, we headed out to the actual roads. With these things going 30 miles, 40 miles per hour, we could keep up with traffic quite nicely. You might notice here, since we are in a British controlled country, we are driving on the left side of the road, so that was a little bit different, but you can see here we got up to full speed. It was kind of nice. The island's not very big, so we basically toured the whole island. And then we would just pull off road and start climbing like this giant limestone quarry thing. So it's like we'd be on asphalt 1 second, and then all of a sudden the driver our guy would turn off, and we'd start climbing this pretty crazy rough terrain. The video doesn't quite show just how rough and kind of crazy it was coming down this giant hill on these rocks. Like, we were pretty worried we were going to flip the vehicle over, but there were rollover bars and we were wearing helmets, so I guess it was still pretty safe. And then once we got to the bottom, we kind of got to drive around it and through it, which was really neat. You can kind of see here the whole line of the dune buggies lined up. We were on the 7 o'clock adventure. 7:30 is when we actually left the dock area. So this was still pretty early in the morning, which is why you don't see any real cars, but it's also not that populated of the island. So you see here we're driving through a neighborhood area, early morning still, beautiful views. These houses have some incredible views of the Atlantic Ocean for sure. Seven miles at the other end of the island is a lighthouse. Kind of halfway point of the tour. Lighthouse was built because ships kept getting wrecked. Kind of see how jagged the ship docks is. Nice sandy beaches. Over here it's jagged limestone cliffs. So hard to make out a little bit, but just how crystal clear that water is. on board. The question on, I'm sure your mind, it's on our mind before we booked, to be honest. $119, little pricey. Is it worth it? Well, before I answer that question, I just also wanted to show off how beautiful. You can see why they call it Turks and Caicos, because the water is clearly very turquoise. We both had a really great time. Recommend the 7:30 if you don't mind getting up early. You might miss out on a beach chair, but there's still some beach chairs down there, because that lets you get back on the ship, kind of get freshened up a little bit from the dust from the road, because you do get a little dusty and sandy. But overall, we had a really great time. Our guide was great, and what was nice is it was probably about, as I show off kind of the island where we started over there and ventured further and further into a little bit of development on the island, it was probably about 75% off-road and 25% on-road, which was really cool. You know, we did get to drive through, including like this road right here, drive through kind of the city area and see and learn, you know, kind of past some of the key monuments. So we literally drove, I think, every road on the island, but then most of it was back off-roading as well. So really nice mix to be able to both see the sights. There's not a lot of sights here to be seen, to be honest. So I would say if you wanted to see the island, this might be the best way to see it, because you're seeing it in kind of a high-speed thrill way. So recommend the tour, recommend doing it early, so you beat any possible weather, and get back on the boat while everyone's still waking up. So thumbs up from us. We really enjoyed it. Grand Turk Dune Buggy. They had like a Hummer tour as well. They had a couple other tours, but Dune Buggy is what you want to do, because you can't get off-road, and really if you just stayed on the road in Grand Turk, it's not as exciting. And then get back here and come to the beach, because the beach is absolutely beautiful. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out the channel for all kinds of other cruise content.